Okay class, let's start the unit 4, molecular flexibility. The flexibility of the individual polymer molecule is the most general and fundamental factor in its mechanical properties and is also very important in many other properties. As I said, in addition to its direct effect upon certain properties, it also interacts with the other structural features of the polymer and thus has further indirect effects on many other properties. It is best analyzed by first examining the effects of molecular structure upon molecular flexibility and then considering the effects of this molecular flexibility on other properties and applications. So let us first see how does the molecular structure influences molecular flexibility. 4-1 Molecular structure on molecular flexibility. The relationship between molecular structure and molecular flexibility is best understood by first examining the general fundamental concept of extremely flexible carbon chain molecule, completely flexible chain, as derived from mathematics and physics, and then considering the ways in which chemical structure introduces restriction of rotation and thus limits the flexibility of actual polymer molecules. Okay, so the general fundamental concept of a completely flexible chain molecule. The fundamental flexibility of a generalized polymer molecule is most simply analyzed by basic concepts of mathematics and physics. Tetrahedral carbon random coil. This begins by assuming that when two carbon atoms are joined by a single pair of electrons in a single covalent bond, the two carbon atoms are free to rotate about this bond. The carbon atom has four such equal bonds equidistant from each other in space. We all know carbon has a valency of 4, therefore 4 bonds. And therefore it has a tetrahedral geometry. You know tetrahedron, that kind of geometry, producing 109-degree angle between any two bonds. Thus, a chain of carbon atoms joined by such bond is not really a simple straight line. So we all represent it as a CC bond, always writing C single bond C, but the structure is like this. One carbon atom here and one carbon atom here, and the bond is completely zigzag. Random zigzag coil of freely joined carbon in 3 dimensions. So like this, it is. हाँ मैं अभी बना रहा हूँ. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah. So thus a chain of carbon atoms joined by such bond is not really a simple straight line as shown in two-dimensional diagrams, but actually a very random zigzag coil like this as shown in the figure 4-1. Free rotation about each CC bond, figure 4.2 produces a great many equivalent conformations. Figure 4.3. We will see these figures. A state of disorder producing high entropy and stability of such randomly coiled condition. Okay, so you should just understand This is the basic of molecular flexibility. You should just know that CC bond is not exactly as represented in two dimensions. C single bond C, it is a zigzag coil. Now let us see finally how does the chemical structure introduces restriction of rotation. So first let us see freedom of rotation. Even in the simplest carbon chain, the bond on each carbon atom which are not in used in forming the chain must be attached to some other atoms. So suppose there is a ethane molecule C2H6. So here one bond will be joining carbon carbon and other bonds will not be forming this carbon chain. But still they should be joined to some other atoms. So mostly in general cases it is, in case of ethane it is hydrogen and mostly it is hydrogen only. So but our main consideration is the bond which is joining carbon and carbon. In the simplest and the most general case, they are attached to hydrogen. While hydrogen is the smallest known atom, the size of its electron orbit is still sufficient to have significant effect upon the flexibility of the chain. Okay, so though the hydrogen atom is very small, its electronic orbit is still sufficient to have a significant effect upon the flexibility of the chain. Even in the simplest molecule like ethane, C2H6, the conflict between adjacent hydrogen atoms is sufficient to make the ethane molecule stablest when two methyl groups are 60 degrees out of phase. And the energy barrier to rotation is about 2 kilocalories per mole. The significance of this repulsion between hydrogen atoms is best seen in comparison with methyl acetal. So what he's saying that if this, what is a methyl group? CH3 group. So these are two methyl groups in ethane molecule. If they are 60 degrees out of phase, then it is stable. And the energy barrier of rotation is 2 kilocalories per mole. So figure 4.5 will give a better idea of this. So let us see figure 4.5. He's talking about this figure 4.5. So the ethane molecule is more stable when it is 60 degrees out of phase, like this. Stable. So as we go ahead, we will get clear how it is stable when it is 60 degrees out of phase. The significance of this repulsion between adjacent hydrogen atoms is best seen by comparison with methyl acetylene. So if this hydrogen atoms, adjacent hydrogen atoms are nearby, as in this case, then there will be repulsion, and because of this repulsion, there won't be any stability. So therefore, the significance of repulsion between adjacent hydrogen is best seen in comparison with methyl acetylene. This is the methyl acetylene molecule. okay, where the rotation energy barrier is only 0.5, and with new pentane it is 4.2. So here the rotational energy barrier is only 0.5, means it is very easy to rotate. If you just supply energy of 0.5 kilocalorie, this will rotate. But with neopentane, it has a rotational energy barrier of 4.2 because of this close adjacent hydrogens, and they produce a lot of repulsion, and because of that rotational energy barrier increases. Same effects are observed in polyethylene and other polymers. In polyethylene, trans conformation is zero point 0.5 kilocalories stabler than Gaussian. So let us see what is trans and Gaussian conformation. So here in this trans conformation, the CH2 are in opposite direction. That's why the adjacent hydrogen are quite far apart. But here in this case they are nearby in Gaussian conformation. So therefore there is a repulsion. So that's what he is saying. Trans conformation is zero point 0.5 kilocalories stabler than Gaussian. Why trans is more stable? Because it does not have adjacent hydrogen nearby. At low temperatures, polyethylene crystallizes and has low kinetic energy. And the conformation is primarily trans. But at higher temperature, in solution, the energy barrier is low enough to permit rotation, and the molecule becomes partially Gaussian, permitting coiling. Many isotactic polymers have regular sequential arrangement of trans and Gaussian. So higher temperature, it turns to Gaussian. So diagrammatic representation of change in potential energy of the molecule of ethane as the bond between methyl groups rotates through angle phi. So here you can see the potential energy changes. So this is the conformation. This is the trans conformation. So it has very low energy. Okay, because the adjacent hydrogens are apart, and this is Gaussian. So they are nearby now, one after the other. You cannot see the other three molecules because they are one after the other. In this case, you can see because they are not one behind the other. So like that. In general, bond rotation energy barrier is about 1 to 5 kilocalories per mole, which is comparable with forces of molecular cohesion. So molecular flexibility correlates with glass transition temperature and also with melting point. Low energy of rotation permit easy motion. So if the energy of rotation is low, then rotation is easy, and also motion is easy. Large segment produce low glass transition temperature. Restriction of rotation creates large potential energy barriers and high glass transition temperature. So internal friction viscosity in rigid amorphous solid polymers below the Tg is in rubber above the glass transition temperature it is about so many poisons. So below Tg it has very high viscosity, above Tg it has less viscosity. And this is dependent on energy of rotation. Lesser the energy of rotation, low Tg. Higher the energy of rotation, high Tg. Now let us see this figure 4-6. Steric hindrance in hydrocarbons. So we are taking an ethane molecule here. Rotational energy barrier as a function of substitution. So the small barrier 2 kilocalories in ethane is lowered even further to 0.5 kilocalories if three bonds are tied back by replacing three hydrogen atoms of a methyl group by triply bonded carbon as a methyl acetylene. The barrier is raised to 4.2 when the methyl group replaces smaller hydrogen atom as a new pentane. So here in this case, imagine this as the ethane molecule C2H6. So C here, okay, and we are only interested in the carbon carbon of the chain, CC bond. So this CC bond is very easy to rotate because it has a rotational energy value of only 2 kilocalories, and that 2 kilocalories is because this adjacent hydrogen are sufficient enough to cause repulsion, and because of that repulsion there is steric hindrance, and it is not easy, that it is easy to rotate but not that easy to rotate. Now I want to reduce this potential rotational energy barrier even further, even further than 2 kilocalories. So I want to reduce it to zero point 0.5 kilocalories. So what will I do? I will replace this. I will add a substituent. I'll add C triple bond CH, like in case of methyl acetylene. So this structure I'm talking. CH3, then C triple bond CH. So this structure. This dark dots are C, carbon. And this is a triple bond and then H. So now the adjacent hydrogens are further apart. So now you will be like confused. Why are you only considering these two hydrogen and not these two hydrogens? But because I'm only interested in the hydrogen attached to the carbon that are forming the chain. So that's why only these two are we are considering, and not these two. Okay. So the hydrogen should be attached to different carbon. Then we consider. But here in this case, the hydrogen is so far apart that there is hardly any steric hindrance. Therefore, the rotational energy barrier is further reduced to 0.5. Now, now I want to increase it beyond 2 kilocalories to 4.2 kilocalories. So I'll replace this and add a neopentane molecule. Like all the carbon having H is replaced by methyl radical CH3, 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 like that. So Me, this is Me. If you zoom it, you will see it is Me. So Me is methyl radical. So this structure is written here. C H H H, and to this carbon there is CH3, CH3, CH3. So because of that, there is too many hydrogens. Okay, causing steric hindrance. More the steric hindrance means more energy needed to rotate it. Therefore, 4.2 kilograms. Now, steric hindrance in poly 3. Diagrammatic representation of change in potential energy of a bond between two carbon atoms in a chain of poly 3 as a bond rotates to angle phi. So we all know that in trans it is having low rotational energy barrier. because the hydrogen are further apart. So this is hydrogen, this dotted line represents hydrogen, of two different carbon atoms attached, and they are like so far apart, so they hardly cause any steric hindrance. So therefore, low energy is needed to rotate them. Therefore, in trans, the energy is low. On y-axis there is energy. On x-axis there is angle phi. So if you just rotate it to 60 degrees in this direction, then these two hydrogens come nearby, and it's a Gaussian conformation. Okay. So this Gaussian conformation is slightly higher in terms of energy. And this also in this case it is quite higher. So this is all about freedom of rotation. I hope you understand. Read it again and again, you will get it. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me. This question is very important. It comes for around 16 marks. So prepare it well. Okay. Then restriction of rotation is also there.